All right, Boots Ennis Stanionis about to begin. Just waiting for the opening bell. There's the opening bell for round one. Stanionis comes out on the front foot. That's the way he always fights. He avoids a Boots jab there. Boots fighting out the orthodox stance, jab into head and body. Stanionis is going to want to close him down and work Boots' body. If Boots is struggling at the weight, then Stanionis will be looking to exploit that with the body attack. But so far, it's Boots on the outside, up and down with the jab from the orthodox stance. Boots will switch, of course, from southpaw to orthodox, back and forth. Now, one thing which I only found out in the past couple of days, it was actually a viewer that said it in the live chat of a previous live stream, is that Boots doesn't have to adhere to the IBF rehydration limit, or it didn't have to for this fight, because it's a unification. Stanionis is the WBA champion, Boots is the IBF champion, so they're going by, I guess, neutral rules or the WBA rules. Good body shot there from Boots with the right hand to Stanionis. And so that may give Boots a bit more energy since he doesn't have to adhere to the IBF rehydration limit. Because it's since he became IBF champion that he started putting in these less than impressive performances. But so far, Boots is having his way in this first round. Stanionis hasn't been able to close down the distance effectively, but that was a good left hook there. Right when I said that, Stanionis landed a good counter left hook. But the thing about Stanionis, even though he's an effective pressure fighter, in the sense that he throws good punches, he gets into good positions, Boots is now in the southpaw stance. Stanionis is not a massive puncher. He does land a nice jab there on Boots, though. Nice right jabs there from Boots from the southpaw stance. Nice left hand from the southpaw stance from Boots. Yeah, this is already more like the old Boots, at least in round one. We'll see how long he can fight this way for. Whether he reverts to the way he was fighting in his last two fights, if he loses the gas in his legs. Let's see. Good combination there from Boots. Stanionis blocking most of these shots, but, you know, Boots keeping those hands busy and definitely winning this first round so far. Nice combinations at the end of the round for Boots. Nice shots. That's the end of round one. Just ballsy Ennis. Okay, now we're seeing a slow-mo. Nice body shot there from Ennis. Very nice body shot. You threw a double jab to the head with the left, and then a right hand to the body. Stanionis landed a good left hook in that round, but Boots was kind of riding the punch. Here we go, round two. Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. 10 seconds into the second round. Boots in a southpaw position, so he's switching a lot, as he often does in fights. Again, Boots controlling things from the outside. Stanionis finding it difficult to get in, trying to use his jab, fighting behind a very high guard. Stanionis is really going to have to attack that body a lot if Boots does have this energy for the majority of the fight. You know, if he is more energetic and hydrated, and he certainly looks it so far. He looks a lot more energetic and hydrated than he's been in his last couple. And it could be, again, the absence of that rehydration clause with the IBF for this fight. I mean, he looked incredibly drained at a photo shoot on Wednesday. This is good work from Boots. He's really dominating this second round, putting combinations together, tattooing Stanionis in the middle of the ring. But there's a clinch there from Boots. Stanionis trying to work on the inside, but Boots just too strong for him. Sharp jab there from Boots. Yeah, Boots' movements, his punches, his foot movement, His ability to keep distance. He looks much faster in this fight than he did in his last 2 fights. The hand speed is much faster. The movement is more consistent. Oh, great left hook there from Stanionis. Boots got a little too greedy. That's a good body shot there from Boots. With the left hand really loading up, catching Stanionis on the way in. Stanionis trying to make a stand here because Boots is really having his way on the outside. Yeah, Stanionis did not like Boots trying to show him up there. Trying to shoe shine after a combination. Stanionis didn't like it. But beautiful boxing by Boots so far. Switching southpaw orthodox, letting off the combinations, controlling things at long range. This is the Boots that we were hoping to see in his last 2 fights, right? Against Chikadzian and Avanesian, but we didn't see. It's a decent jab there from Stanionis. Wicked right hook there from Boots, which I think stunned Stanionis a little bit. It was kind of partially blocked by Stanionis' glove, but I do think it stunned him a little bit. He backed off for a few seconds there, which is unusual for him. There's the end of round 2. All right, looking at some slow-mo here from round 2. There was the combination from Boots, but he got countered with a left hook from Stanionis. But again, Boots was sharp enough to turn his head the same way that the hook was going. So Boots very sharp tonight. Even on the defensive. Because in previous fights, he was getting caught flush with those shots. But on this occasion, he was able to, as I say, turn the same way as the punch, ride the punch. All right, so here we go. Round 3, we're 15 seconds into round 3. Let's see if Boots can continue this domination that he's shown in the first 2 rounds. Stanionis is going to start to get frustrated at some point, you would imagine. Maybe he already is frustrated. He's trying to use his jab a lot more here, Stanionis, to get in. And that's the right idea. Good body shots, though, from Boots. Boots looks so much physically bigger. I mean, we knew he would be, right? He's a massive welterweight. Boots, again, shoe shining, hot dogging Stanionis here. Just moving around the perimeter of the ring. It's a Matador versus Bull fight so far, and the Matador is having it all his own way. Up to this point. Oh, good right hand, though, from Stanionis. Boots holds on. In the southpaw stance now, Boots. Decent right hand lead there from Stanionis. Okay, there was a combination there from Stanionis. Boots kind of tripped over some feet and yeah, it wasn't a knockdown, I don't think. So Boots again in the southpaw stance, middle of the ring. Stanionis looking for the jab. Stanionis has obviously been told good combinations from Boots, punishing combinations. It literally looks like a middleweight versus a welterweight in there, in terms of the size difference. Boots using an extended left arm there to try and hold Stanionis at bay. Is that maybe the first sign that Boots is starting to get a little bit tired? He's holding now as well, Boots. Because he's been moving an awful lot in these first 3 rounds. We're 45 seconds left in the third now. He's been moving an awful lot, Boots, and throwing a lot of shots, combinations, flashy stuff. Stanionis trying to get his jab off now. And as I say, he has been throwing a lot more jabs in this round than he was in the previous rounds. I'm sure he's been told that by his corner. Good left hook there from Stanionis. Okay, Boots now standing with Stanionis and exchanging. That's a good shot from Boots with a left hand. He's hurt Stanionis. Yeah, Stanionis in trouble. Stanionis in trouble. Yeah, as the commentators are pointing out here, Boots definitely the puncher of the two. Stanionis doesn't have a puncher's record. Let's just put it that way. He's an accumulation guy. But that's a good jab there from Stanionis. You know, that was a Boots round, but I want to say in the second half of the round is ended, by the way. In the second half of the round, Boots started to hold a bit more. He started to plant his feet and stand with Stanionis more. And Stanionis actually started having success then, because his defensive construct is a bit tighter on the inside than Boots. And so he was landing some decent jabs there at the end, Stanionis. And a couple of power shots. Having a look at the slow-mo here. There was a nice right hand from Stanionis when Boots was pinned in the corner. Then he grabbed Boots' arm cleverly there. Exchanging on the inside. Yeah, Stanionis just pulled Boots down by the back of the head. It definitely wasn't a knockdown. Yeah, he pushed Boots down by the back of his head. But that was a nice right hand towards the end of the round from Stanionis. And a left hand back from Boots. Here we go, round number 4. Pretty entertaining fight so far. I would say it's 3-0 to Boots, but Stanionis had the most success so far in maybe the last minute of the previous round. Stanionis had the most success that he's had so far in the fight. Let's see what he can do in this round, if anything. Boots again moving around the perimeter of the ring. Stanionis trying to get close. Right hand from Stanionis, real fiery in there. Very fiery. Boots trying to go to Stanionis' body. And you definitely know Stanionis don't like them shots. Boots initiating clinches now, though. He is initiating quite a few clinches. Will that give Stanionis some encouragement that Boots is starting to clinch more? Nice combinations from Boots. Fast shots. Boots showboating there. Nice combinations again from Boots. Okay, Boots ducking low there. Defensive maneuvers out of the southpaw stance. Stanionis, I think, struggling more to land when Boots is in the southpaw stance. But then again, when I say that, look at that, I jinxed myself. Stanionis landed a straight right hand there. A jab there from Stanionis. Left hand from Stanionis was blocked by Boots. Boots back in the orthodox stance, trying to get on the jab. Jab to the body from Stanionis. Another jab from Stanionis. Jabbing contest now. Coming up to the final minute of the 4th round. Yeah, Stanionis starting to pick up some facial damage now. Again, a combination there from Boots, and he showboats to the crowd. Yeah, really trying to get the crowd involved. And also trying to demoralize Stanionis. Yeah, Stanionis hasn't managed to capitalize on the success he had in the previous, in the last minute of the previous round. This has been all Boots. And he's really having fun in there with the showboating. So this is 4-0 so far for Boots Ennis. Best performance he's put on for a good while. Yeah, Stanionis looks like he's being completely controlled now. That's the end of round 4. A clean sweep for Boots Ennis. Stanionis, I really think he needs to jab to the body, because Boots actually took his jab away in that round with movement and switch hitting. Obviously, the head can move a lot more than the body. So I say he needs to focus on jabbing to the body. Try and jab to the body maybe as a counter, because he might be wary of jabbing to the head because of being countered over his jab by Boots. So jab to the body, jab to the chest as a counter. When Boots throws a shot, jab to the body. And feint as well. Feint upstairs with a jab, and then jab to the body, and vice versa. Just needs to be a bit more intelligent and creative with his jab. And I think that's his lifeline But so far, so good for Boots Ennis. Here we go. Round number 5. We're 10 seconds in. Total domination from Boots so far. Boots on the outside jabbing. Looks very energetic at the moment. Again, could be that lack of a rehydration limit on the morning of the fight for Boots, because for his last 2 fights under IBF rules, he hasn't been able to rehydrate above 157 pounds on the morning of the fight. Okay, decent body shots there from Stanionis. He's got Boots pinned in the corner. So yeah, perhaps, as I say, the absence of a rehydration limit is really helping Boots with his energy here, because he looks, again, absolutely full of life in this fight, far more so than his previous 2. That was a good right hand though from Stanionis. That was a nice shot. Then he throws a couple of left hooks to Boots there. And there's a right hand from Stanionis. Nice jab from Stanionis. Right when I say Boots is looking good, Stanionis manages to land a few shots. It's happened several times in this fight now, when I've been complimenting Boots' work and Stanionis starts landing. All right, Boots. Southpaw stance, moving around the perimeter of the ring. That's a nice right hand to the body from Stanionis. Needs to keep doing that. Good. Oh, Stanionis bleeding from the nose. He caught an uppercut there from Boots. Boots got him under pressure. He's pushing Stanionis back. Yeah, Stanionis has definitely been affected by them shots. Bleeding from the nose, but lands a right hand. Boots really pouring it on here. Beautiful body shot from Boots there. Stanionis definitely troubled by those shots. He's trying to suck it up and fight on. He's a tough guy, but yeah, he's getting beaten up in there. And the disconcerting thing for Stanionis is right after he's done a bunch of good work, Boots comes back and just tears through his guard and draws blood. You know, that's got to be demoralizing for Stanionis to be punished right after doing his best work. That's the end of round 5. And for me, it's another Boots round. Stanionis definitely had his moments in there and did some good work, but Boots came back with better. So I've got to give that to Boots. Okay, instant replay here. Right hand from Stanionis on the instant replay. Boots comes back with combinations, uppercuts, hooks, straight shots, busts Stanionis' nose. Stanionis calls him on, but he definitely felt it. Here we go, round 6. Boots has won everything so far on my card. Again, Boots' legs look very fresh. Seems to be some kind of disagreement in the crowd. But yeah, the commentator just said that Boots still looks fresh as a daisy. Indeed he does. Okay, Boots initiating a clinch here. Boots initiating another clinch there. Is he just managing his gas tank a little bit, maybe? Fast combination from Boots there. Then he spins off the ropes. Nice work. Nice right hook from Boots. Definitely the best version of Boots that I've seen for several fights, because his last 2 performances were really poor. He didn't have these legs. He didn't have this energy or speed in his last 2 performances against Avanesian and Chikadzian. But this is real nice, snappy work, bouncing the legs, enjoying himself in there, switching southpaw and orthodox. All right, Stanionis getting his jab off again. He does have a good jab. But he's neglecting the body of Boots. That's a left hook nearly catches Boots on the back of the head from Stanionis there. Boots back in the orthodox position, confusing Stanionis, switch hitting. Boots really loading up on those shots there. Didn't land clean on Stanionis, but all right, left hook back from Stanionis was blocked by Boots, but a nice jab again. Yeah, Stanionis, see, in boxing, you got to stick to what is working. Stanionis bleeding from the nose again as he ships more body shots from Boots. Boots starting to break him down. Yeah, Stanionis in real trouble here. He might go down. He might go there. He does go down. Stanionis takes a knee in round 6 from body shots. Boots might be stopping him right here. Boots might stop him right. 16 seconds left, 14 fit. Nearly at the end of round 6. Stanionis badly hurt in that round. In this round, should I say. It looks like it's all over but the shouting. There's the end of round 6. They stare at each other at the end of the round. Yeah, it looks like it's all over but the shouting. Total dominance by Boots Ennis. Stanionis down for the first time. It was body shots that started the issues for him. He might have gone down from a couple of headshots at the end, but it was body shots that hurt him. And I think Stanionis' corner are going to pull him out. I think his corner are pulling him out. Yep, Stanionis' corner are pulling him out. Wow. Eddie Hearn lifts. Boots Ennis. There you go. Boots Ennis, unified IBF WBA welterweight champion. By far the best performance he's put on for several years now. Well, certainly far more impressive than his last 2 performances. That was the Boots that I came to believe in. That Boots still exists, evidently. And this is why I feel like he should have moved up. You know, dealing with the IBF check weight on the morning of the fight, I think has really drained him for his last 2. When he doesn't have to deal with that type of dehydration, this is what he can still do. That's why I think that Boots, and said at the time that Boots should have taken the Virgil Ortiz fight. Let's hear what Eddie Hearn and everybody else has to say. Let's see what Boots has to say. Yeah, Stanionis' trainer told him, "You're done for." And Stanionis agreed with what his coach was saying. So Stanionis retired in the corner. He didn't protest what his corner was saying. He was like, okay, cool. We'll end it here. I haven't seen Eddie Hearn that happy for ages. I didn't see Eddie Hearn that happy for ages, bro. Obviously, he got a win with Dmitry Bivol over Beterbiev. And now he's had a nice win here. Boots Ennis over Stanionis. A return to form for Boots Ennis. So look at the size of Boots, man. The muscles in his back and whatnot. It's crazy that this guy's a welterweight, because here he must be, I'm not joking, folks, this guy is at least 175 pounds. That's the way he looks to me. He fights at 147. He looks like he's a light heavyweight there. Crazy. So we're going to get the official announcement and then move to the interviews, which I'll be very interested to hear. Will Eddie Hearn even be allowed to get in on the interview?
Yeah, 3 pieces of hardware now. around your waist, now the unified champion.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to make a statement tonight here in the ring. Show that you were still one of the best in the world. Was that the statement you were looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did, but I'm gonna go back and watch it. I feel like I was, just getting in my groove, starting to get loose, and it was funny. And my dad told me, just keep pressing, you're gonna stop him. And what's crazy was I had a dream I was gonna stop him just like this in the 7th round. But, things hit, man, getting through.
That was a terrific fighter you had in front of you. Undefeated guy, former Olympian. You might have won every single round, plus that 10-8 round. What was working for you in the ring tonight?
The biggest part was just me having my fun, being myself, and having a live body in front of me. When I got a live body in front of me, I see what happened. I put on a show. I had my fun. I see the speed, power, defense. I see a little bit of inside game. I see everything. I feel like I said, when I got a live body in front of me, it's a whole different story. You're gonna see a whole different book. And I'm gonna keep taking it to the next level.
Body shots in this game are investment. You were invested in that body very early in this fight. Could you feel yourself softening him up as the rounds went on?
Yeah, I felt him softening him up. I feel like I go to the body as much as I wanted to. Yeah, he was much shorter in the ring. Like, the way he fight, he milled down. So when I was trying to really go to his body, I was like, I gotta switch it up. I gotta get something different. So, and I did that. I still found a way to get to that body still. And it's that time.
You were already a recognized world champion. Why was it so important to you to win a title in the ring?
It was very important for me. Like I said, when this IBM belt right here, I was the interim champion. I was elevated. I woke up one morning and I was world champion. I never actually fought for this belt, and I finally was able to fight for the WBA or fight for another title and take it from the man and beat him. And it was a blessing. That's everything I always wanted. It felt way better than sitting in the bed waking up. That was IBM champion.
Did it surprise you at all that he didn't come out for that last round?
Nah, I mean, he's a great fighter. He's a good guy, but like I said, every round I just getting in my bag, getting in my groove, loosening up, having fun. And I feel like I was just picking it up. And
You faced some criticism over the last few months. Criticism that I know bothered you. How much of that did you bring into the ring tonight?
I definitely brought some of that in here with me. They still ain't seen that yet, though. I got a long way to go. I'm just getting started. The party just getting started.
3 belts now around your waist. Is it more belts or is it move up?
I'm gonna enjoy my victory. Enjoy these belts. Take some time with the fans, talk to the team, and we're gonna see what's next.
Is becoming undisputed though part of your plan?
We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I'm enjoying this victory. Chill with my fam and talk to my dad, my team, and make sure I come to the after party, meet me at the spot.
Congratulations, Boots.
Thank you. I appreciate everybody coming out. Philly, Jersey, Tri-State, New York, Delaware, Baltimore, DC, if I'm missing anybody. Everybody that traveled all over, even Lithuanian people. I want to thank Eddie, Matchroom, appreciate y'all. Many more days to come, many more blessings to come. Shout out to my brother too.
No question about that. Congratulations, well done. Eddie, we'll bring you in here. And Eddie, you said to me before this fight you wanted to see this man make a statement. Was that what you wanted to see?
What a wonderful, humble man. Not from me. Tear up the pound-for-pound list. This is one of the finest fighters in the sport. Tonight, that was a performance of one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. Now the unified world champion, Ring Magazine champion, by far the best fighter in the division. He's going to be around for a long time, 47, 54, 60. It's all coming. You're witnessing true greatness. Now he'll make his way onto the pound-for-pound list. We've got to fight the other champions. The future is so bright. He's the future of the sport of boxing. And what a great man from a great city in Philadelphia. You should all be so proud of him because he carries your city around with him everywhere he goes. We'll be back in Philly soon. But tonight, I'm walking away. We've been saying for a while, we want a performance where we can stand on the ropes and scream and shout, this is the best fighter in the world. We got all of that tonight against a great champion. It was the best be the best, but it was a walk in the park for true greatness, a true pound-for-pound star in Jaron Ennis. It's going to be around for a long time.
I would say, Boots, you've learned not to make any predictions immediately after the fight from what happened the last time. But Eddie, you're going to be making some decisions and helping him make those decisions. What's your first call on Monday?
Listen, the first call is Boots wanted to unify. He wanted to fight the champions. People criticised him about not moving up and not fighting for a belt. He said, all I want to do is fight the champions, win other belts. We stayed patient and it paid off tonight. Now we'll sit as a team, Bozy, Everett, got such a great team of people. And by the way, this is a guy that's tracing greatness. He's making money and the money will come, but that's not the important thing to Boots Ennis. It's about legacy and it's about proving to everyone that he's the best fighter in the world. And he's a joy to work with because all he wants to do is give the fans the best fights. And he will do that consistently over the next 5, 6, 7 years. This is a true champion. And what you saw tonight was just a snippet of what's to come. There's so many names I want to call out, but I'm not going to do it. Tonight belongs to Jaron Ennis. What a star, what a fighter.
Congratulations, Eddie. Congratulations, Boots. Phenomenal performance.
Eddie giving it the big sales pitch at the end. Yeah, the other champions at 147, after that performance, they're not going to want that smoke. If Boots doesn't have to rehydrate, and if he's that motivated, I say rehydrate. If Boots doesn't have to limit his rehydration per the IBF, perhaps because it's a unification, right? He doesn't have to limit himself with a rehydration clause. It doesn't apply to unifications, maybe. So if Boots can perform like this, right, then the other champions at 147, they're not going to want any smoke. Brian Norman, will he really want it? He didn't want it before. Mario Barrios, is he going to want it? I don't think so. Not unless you pay him a fortune. Anyway, folks, that concludes my commentary for this fight. Just seeing a few highlights here. And yeah, the reason I didn't continue my stream, because I started a live stream. I was going to do this commentary live. The reason I didn't do the commentary live is because I'm away from home at the moment and I've only got my MacBook with me. And as soon as I turned OBS on, which is the software that I use to live stream, DAZN, which is open in my browser, basically blanked out its screen. So DAZN can somehow detect that you've got OBS open and it doesn't want you recording the screen, basically. I wasn't recording the screen, but, whatever. So I wasn't able to watch the fight when OBS is turned on. Do you know what I mean? So I had to abandon the stream because I don't have another device to watch DAZN on. When I'm home, I've got several devices I can watch DAZN on. So I can stream on the MacBook and then watch DAZN on a different device. But I don't have that right now, so that's why I had to abandon the stream. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this commentary all the same. Great performance by Boots. Catch you guys on the next one. I'm out.